Welcome to The Grind. Before we get this episode started, if you could please take a minute to share us on whatever platform you're watching or listening on, we would greatly appreciate it. A share on Facebook, a retweet on Twitter, and a subscribe on YouTube would go a long way in extending our reach and engaging more App State wrestling fans. Thank you for your time. Here's your host, Dominic Parisi.
Thank you, JB. So tonight we have a local native of Boone, North Carolina, and here's a little bit of info on his career. So he wrestled at App from 2008 to 2012. Before at App, he wrestled at Watauga High School, only a few minutes from App State Wrestling's facilities. He was a two-time state runner-up, a three-time North Carolina regional champion with a career record of 147-25. His father is also an App State Wrestling alum from the late 70s through the early 80s. While at App State, his freshman year, he took over the starting spot at the 149-pound weight class midway through the season. He grabbed 3 wins at the SoCon tournament, earning a third-place finish in his first year of Division I college wrestling. His sophomore year, he tied for the second on the team with 21 wins. He had a team best with 9 pins, including 3 pins at the Southern Scuffle. He earned first-team all-conference honors after posting a 5-0 SoCon dual record and placed second in the SoCon tournament. His junior year, he took third at the SoCon championships. He won 8 of his 9 matches to start the season and led the team with 6 pins. His senior year, he posted overall mark of 25-15 with an 11-4 dual record. He was named All Southern Conference team after going 4-1 in conference duels. Named NWCA Academic All-American, earned academic SoCon honors as well. His 7 pins were third most on the team that year and led the team with 11 major decisions. He opened the season with a 4th-place finish at the Hokie Open, a 6th-place finish at the Keystone Classic, and finished 4th at the SoCon tournament. Welcome to Beyond the Mat with Boone native Savva Kostis.
Hey,
Savva,
Dom.
what's up,
Thanks
man?
for having me. Hey.
Yeah, we appreciate you being on tonight. Again, taking time out of your busy Monday afternoon. I know you're a father now and you got a whole lot going on, but appreciate you being on. And we'll jump right into it. And first question is always, how did you get started in the sport of wrestling?
Gosh, I guess I was born into it, really. As far as I can remember, going to the ASU matches as a kid. And, sometimes when you're a young kid, 5, 6 years old, you're not too interested in the wrestling, but you're wrestling the other kids there at the matches. But I grew up around it, and I took it serious, I'd say around 5th grade. That's when I started practicing with the middle school team. And going from there, just had a lot of support through the years. And, it was a great ride.
Heck yeah. Did your pops do a lot of coaching for you when you were young, since he was wrestling in college as well? How'd your pops influence you into wrestling? Old George.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I don't think I really had a choice, man. So, once middle school hit, I was doing it. And we were traveling around, hitting all those small North Carolina tournaments and getting better.
Heck yeah. Well, then let's jump into your high school career. We'll take it one year at a time, and we'll talk about different weight classes, your state tournaments. But an interesting fact, you actually wrestled under Coach Bentley in high school before he was a coach at App State. That's correct, right?
Yeah, that's true. I've known Coach Bentley a long time. I was actually, when I was in middle school, I would go to the high school and practice. We were bused in, and middle school practiced at the high school, but in a separate area. And then after that practice, I would go right up to the high school kids, and he was nice enough to I had a few kids that were really good, Jacob Earp, and we would go up there and roll around with the high school kids. And my freshman year, he was the coach, and man, he was hard on us. And a funny story is, like, being young, you don't know weigh-in food or anything like that. And my mom would pack it, and I would have some not so good stuff in it. one time we're leaving to go weigh in somewhere, and I had a Reese's cup and a Coke, or maybe not a Coke. I think Coach Bentley had the Coke, but he took my Reese's cup, said I didn't need that. And so I never told my mom. She would always pack it, and he would always take it. And yeah, that was funny, man. We have
Always
good laughs
taking
about
Reese's
that still.
cup.
Yeah.
Well, talk us through the freshman year then. How'd your freshman year go career wise? Did you qualify for the state tournament? Give us some more info on that.
Yeah, so I was, getting better. I made it to regionals. I didn't quite have what it took. I lost to a senior, and you got to place top 4 to go to the states in North Carolina, and I lost the match to get into that 3rd and 4th place match. I think it went to overtime, and that was it. Went to the state tournament, watched it, and it really made me want to work harder in the off season so I could get there for my sophomore year.
Yeah. So then jump into the sophomore year. How'd that one go? You were a 3-time North Carolina regional champ. So it looks like you go from not placing top 4 to then winning it. So talk us about the sophomore year.
Yeah, sophomore year, I really started to, hit my stride, and I was winning a lot of matches and scoring a lot of points. And I moved up in weight class because freshman year I was 119, went up to 125. And I felt better, had a little bit more muscle, and the experience. I mean, anybody who wrestles under Coach Bentley for a year, you get tremendously better.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
I wouldn't have had the career I had early on and later on if it wasn't for him and the hard work, those practices. So my sophomore year was really kind of a standout year. Won regionals. I think I pretty much destroyed everyone I wrestled through regionals, and then kind of got to the state tournament and choked a little bit, which happens. And that was the story of my career at the state tournament. We'll get into that.
Well, for everybody that's tuned in right now, we're talking with Savva Kostis, a local here in Boone, North Carolina for his whole life. If you got any questions for us, want to ask Savva a question, put it in the live chat. We'll get to it as time goes on. But be interactive and give us some questions. So then let's talk about your junior, senior year. I know your state tournaments didn't finish quite how you wanted, but just give us a quick rundown on your junior and senior year in high school.
Yeah, so Coach Bentley left, went to the college, and the assistant coach, Coach Ike Miller, took over, and it was a good thing. And the room stayed the same as far as the structure and everything, and the same partners. I jumped up big time in weight, so I moved up to 140, and from 125, had a good growth spurt, even stronger, even better, and I had a really good junior year. I don't know that I really lost any matches, maybe a couple at the Tiger Holiday Classic. I don't know if you ever wrestled in that.
Yep.
I think time flies. You get old, your memory fades. But fast forward to the state tournament, I blow through everyone, get to that state finals, and just, I don't know what it was, if it was the being in front of everybody, but just kind of froze up. But I had a good opponent. I mean, he was tough. I wrestled him earlier in the year to a close match, actually. Yeah, that's coming back to me. The very first tournament of the year. So I ended up wrestling him again in the finals. And it was a pretty close match, but he had a low single that I just could not stop. So, of course, I liked it.
Yeah, for sure. So then your senior year, same.
Yes. Yeah, same sort of thing. Got a little bigger, went up to 145. And then won the Holiday Classic. Ended up wrestling the same guy I wrestled in the finals of the Holiday Classic in the state finals. And this time I beat him at the Tiger Classic, and then in the state finals match, same sort of story. I actually jumped out to a pretty good lead on the kid and made a mistake. Stood up from bottom, went to reach back and do a whizzer from top. I don't know why. And he threw in a half. But I fought off my back, and I battled the rest of the match. I didn't have the gas tank. And not having those Coach Bentley practices, I think that hurt me, not having that gas tank.
Yeah, well, that's a good lead into a question from Derek Wilcox. Derek asked you before we get into your App wrestling career. He said, Savva, what did your strength and conditioning look like at App?
Oh gosh, at App, yeah. I mean, that freshman year, Coach Bentley had us lifting preseason every morning at 6 a.m. It wasn't every other day. It wasn't Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Every day.
Yeah.
And, it was tough. We did a lot of Olympic lifts, did a lot of running afterwards. And, man, we put in a lot of work that freshman year, preseason.
Well, then let's get into the freshman year. How did so you started right off the bat at 149? At least midway through the season. A
little later in the season. Yeah. So to lead into that, Brett Houghton was at 157. Chip Powell was at 149. And Brett was battling some injuries, and then Chip was struggling. It was tough for him to make 149. I mean, he's tall, lanky, Chip. And Brett kind of, I think it was after Northeast Duels. After that tournament, I think Brett got injured a little and Chip decided to move up, and then that opened the door for me. And I'm very thankful that Brett kind of, he opened the door for me to get started on my career there. And it was tough. I mean, jumping right into the lineup, but I felt like I was ready. The conditioning we did that preseason really prepared me, and all those years of Coach Bentley, I had the same philosophy, fundamentals to go after and attack.
And for those that don't know, so Savva was in the days where they had preseason workouts, I guess, every day. When I got to App, we were just on a Monday, Friday schedule. And I mean, that for me, that was like, oh, wow, Monday, Friday. I mean, I couldn't imagine going Monday through Friday. So, Savva was there when they were grinding it out every day.
Yeah, I'm almost 100% sure on that. Maybe I'm dreaming.
I've heard from multiple other people, like they said, it wasn't no Monday, Friday crap. It was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, it was tough.
So let's jump into your sophomore year. So now you got half a year wrestling in college wrestling under your belt.
Yeah.
So now you're in your sophomore year. Let's talk us through that. How'd your sophomore year go?
I think it was my breakout year. I was coming off that third place finish, feeling really good. I do want to go back to the conference tournament. I'm sorry, Dom. I didn't finish my thought on that. I had a good tournament there. I wrestled a kid from Chattanooga who's the number 1 seed. And funny story is I cement mixered him to his back with maybe 5 seconds left, maybe a little more time. And they didn't have a review then like they do now. And I got my hand raised, Coach Bentley's, arm in the air. I got a picture of it and walking off the mat. And then they kind of challenge it. The coaches caught and they reverse it. And so I end up losing that semifinals match to go to the finals to the Chattanooga kid. And but I battled back and took third.
Wow, I did not know that. That's wild.
Yeah. So there's a little controversy at the end of that one, but wasn't meant to be. I think we got Coach Bentley's watching right now. He just chimed in. He says, "I know I've gotten softer over the years." So, I mean, we all can say he's gotten to be as soft as a pillow, but he's still got some rock in him. I'll say that. Hey, he's still the best in the business. The hardest working coach in D1 wrestling, no doubt.
Touche. So let's jump in. In your sophomore year. So you said breakout year, probably one of your better years you had here at App. So let's give us the info on that year.
Yeah. So sophomore year, I think we went out to Reno that year. I wrestled really well there. The Southern Scuffle, I think I recorded 3 pins. I think that was the year. I'm not real sure. Made it to the second day and feeling really good. I think I might have made it to the quarterfinals, and that's when I wrestled a kid, Matt Kyler from Army. And I I got to go here because the rule changes. So now you can pin the guy out of bounds. And back then, I took him down, put him in a cradle to his back, but it was out of bounds. And then, go back to the middle. I made him mad, and then he just proceeded to, light me up. He was a good wrestler. I think he was a 2-time All-American or something.
I mean, dude, you're a freaking pinning machine in college, man.
I tried.
you did more than try. You pinned.
Yeah. I enjoyed top wrestling for sure.
Yeah.
So that, I guess, to cap off, went undefeated in the duels sophomore year and ended up second at the SoCon tournament. And kind of a bummer. I really felt like it was my tournament to win. Yeah.
Well, then let's jump into the junior, senior years, man. Let's hear about your last 2 years at App.
Yeah, so junior year, I really feel like I was off to another great start, feeling good. This is my year. Made it the second day of the scuffle. And then I don't quite place there, but hey, it's the scuffle. It's tough. And after the scuffle, I was feeling sick. I thought I was coming down with the stomach bug, flu. I don't remember what dual match we had, like the next day, but I ended up going to the hospital. I had appendicitis, and that put me out for a full month. And so I made it back, wrestled a few matches my junior year, and it was just hard to get back in shape after that. And I made a pretty good run at the conference tournament, and something like that. It was unfortunate, and couldn't have come at a worse time.
Yeah, no kidding. So then, your last year.
My last year, let's see. I think that's the year we went to Reno again, and we all wrestled really well. Had some good wins out there. And then same thing, wrestled really good at the scuffle. Just came up short from placing. And then I ended up the last dual match we had against Virginia. I was wrestling Seiko. And I was losing the match, but it was close. And I was going for the win and went to do a cement mixer again. I know, garbage move, but got to go for a home run sometimes. I crunched down, and I think I dislocated my rib. And so that kind of put a damper on the rest of that season. And I lost to a kid from the Citadel who I shouldn't have lost to. Both times I wrestled him, it was a 1-point match. It was just one of those kids that was awkward, kind of lanky like you. Just really slowed me down. I didn't get to my offense like I needed to. And so I lost him in the conference tournament. And then I won a match, and then I lost to a kid that I teched earlier in the year from Campbell. It's just sometimes you can't help wrestling with an injury. You got to battle through it, and no excuses, but it makes it tough at times.
Yeah, even though you took some losses there, bigger lesson to be learned, having to push through and battle through something that's uncomfortable, That's the sport of wrestling right there. Coach Bentley says that about every day. But again, everybody tuned in. We're talking with Savva Kostis. I see we got above 20 viewers right now. So those that are watching.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, ask questions.
Thanks for tuning in.
Let us know if you got any specific questions. Coach Bentley gave another comment. He said Savva had some of the best hips of any wrestler I've coached at App State. Dangerous.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
So let's speaking of your rib injuries, this next question is kind of tailored toward injuries. What did you any major injuries that you struggled with throughout your career, or kind of just bumps and bruises?
Yeah, just mainly the typical stuff you got to battle through. MCL strains, LCL strains, labrums in your shoulders, just stuff you still wrestle with, but no major injuries. That appendicitis, where I had to get it removed, that was the surgery. Coming back from that, it just really I was off to such a good year. But yeah, nothing major. High ankle sprains, typical.
The standard injuries that come with the sport of wrestling.
Yeah.
So what was the biggest adversity you had to fight throughout your career? Every wrestler goes through it, you know. They go through a season where their head's not in the right spot because of this or that. Give us a story about that. Let's hear what your adversity was.
My adversity was myself, mentally, never really believing I was good enough, and man, looking back, I was so close. I was so much better than I gave myself credit for, and I missed it between my ears. I mean, it was just, I think if I had a sports psychologist, I think I would have done a little bit better mentally, but I had all the right tools. I mean, I had the ability, the technique, the strength. Sometimes you got to believe in yourself and believe you belong there.
Oh man, that's well said. Well said. Telling the real story about that, because a lot of people don't know how big the mental game is in the sport of wrestling.
Yeah,
heck, it's
huge.
It's everything. Yeah, it's everything. So well said, Savva. What coach did you spend the most time with at App? Doing individuals with, working out with? I know a lot of coaches came through this program. So who'd you usually spend most time with?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to say Coach Bentley. I mean, we did a lot of individuals, and being local here, I would work out with him when the other kids would go home. Some of the assistant coaches, like you said, they came and gone. I really respected Coach Fisk when he was here. He really worked with me.
Yep.
Man, he's got some heavy hands, and learned some different technique from him. Just something different than what I was used to, from high school, middle school with Coach Bentley. It was a different breadth of technique that he helped me a lot. But, I mean, really, the grind with Coach Bentley, just the basics, and that's what he preaches. And working out with him, man, it made you a lot better. I don't think I ever scored a takedown on him. I really don't.
So I remember at least, 8-9 practices where you took him down to his back, actually. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Maybe it was for a brief second and he kicked me off. Are you sure? Are you sure it was me?
So what had happened is you hit a blast double, took him to his back, and it was a quick couple backs, and then he elevated you to your back and then pinned you. But it counted. You know what I mean? It counted.
Yeah, we had some good battles. I think this tooth is chipped from his hip, and let's see, I've had some staples up here. He's got a hard head.
Yeah, he does. That's too funny. All right, we got some other people chiming in. Derek Wilcox says those hips are a genetic gift, of course. Steven Snyder saying hips don't lie. You got Michael Jared saying, Savva, you're my hero.
Yeah, I'm related to Derek Wilcox. Talking about hips, he has the world PR record for squat.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he'll have to chime in and say what it is. I think it's 1,000 pounds.
All right, Derek.
For
let us know
180 or 190 pounds.
You got to let us know, Derek, what you're squatting, man.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, and then you got
Jason.
Jason.
Eat lunch in the cafeteria.
And then you got a Jason Sawyer just chiming in saying you and Coach Bentley are awesome. So we'll keep moving on here again. Up to 27 viewers at this point. Ask some questions for Savva as we continue. Go ahead, share the video if you haven't already. Just go ahead and share it. Let's get more viewers on here. We got about another 30 minutes left in this session, so share the video. Help us get more viewers. So we'll move on here. Your favorite tournament trip that you enjoyed?
Man, I listened to Mike Kessler's podcast, and man, I have to agree that Reno trip, our senior year, it was awesome. We all wrestled well, and there's this place in Reno where they're famous for, it's some hole in the wall joint, but it's got the awful burger. And we would look forward to that burger every trip. And we go and we'd eat that burger. And yeah, it was great.
Obviously,
then,
after weigh-ins, right?
Yeah, after weigh-ins, after the tournament. We were flying back the next day at 6 a.m. And we stayed out all night. I think what Mike was saying, we had some karaoke, played a little blackjack, and I think, yeah, it was some of the best times with my brothers. That during the season, best tournament trip. And fun fact, on the way back to the hotel, because I don't know if I slept that night. I think I just barely made it through the room before we were going to the airport. I was playing blackjack with John Smith, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, really? Did you?
Yeah.
I know you like to gamble, Savva. Did you come home with any money? Did you go positive on that trip, or?
The Reno trip, yeah. Well, I didn't have a whole lot of time to give it back, so we were lucky that trip, and we played good.
Heck yeah. Well, heck yeah. Yeah, good trip. That was the same as Mike Kessler. And I think I was – what year was that?
Sophomore for you, maybe?
I think that might have been my – yeah. Because I do remember going down to Reno one year. Granted, I wasn't old enough to gamble yet, so.
Stuck in the room.
Huh?
Stuck in the room?
Yeah, stuck in the hotel room.
They're pretty strict on that gaming floor if you're not 21.
Yeah, they are.
I remember Brett Boston got in trouble.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll keep it moving here. Your most memorable individual match of your career.
Man, there's a lot of good matches against a lot of good people, but I don't necessarily have to say this match is against one of those top All-American type guys. It's that conference finals duel when we wrestled Chattanooga. And I mean, it's the kind of thing that you see in the movies. I mean, of course I wanted to go out there and beat the guy and, 15-0 or go pin him right away. But it was a tight match all the way through. The first period, I think it was 0-0, second period 0-0. And it wasn't like a heavyweight match where they're typically just standing there and there's no action. I mean, we were taking shots, scrambling, go out of bounds. And it was a scrap and no one was scoring. And it ended up going to overtime. And I think, gosh, I wish I could find a video of it. There used to be one, and I can't find it now. And the guy took a halfway shot and stood back up, and I think I knee picked him, and he went right to his back. And thankfully, he went right to his back, and I pinned him. And I didn't just get off of him and be happy with the 2, because those dual points, the extra points for the pin, really came in crucial for the victory, because I believe Chip and Blevins were after me. But, yeah, those extra dual points were crucial in the crowd, man. It went crazy. It was definitely, my favorite by far.
Well, we'll get to the most memorable duel here in a second, but we got some activity going on in our live chat here. Derek chimed in. He said 1,000 pounds at 194, but I'm following our hero Savva competing in the grappling world now. So I guess Derek was squatting 1,000.
That's a lot of weight.
We got a couple questions here, Savva. So the first one, tell us the story about you getting kidnapped.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll keep it quick because this is a wrestling gig here.
That's from John Clark, by the way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it was my freshman year of high school, spring break, I believe. Anyway, we were driving down to the beach, and I should have just stayed home and practiced, I guess. But my grandparents went on down to the beach, and for whatever reason, we stayed back. We drove down later that night, stopped in South Carolina at a gas station, middle of the night. I'm sleeping in the back, of course, young kid, just snoozing away. My dad says, you need to go in to use the bathroom. I say, no, fall right back asleep. So he leaves the car running because it's a diesel, and for whatever reason, you want to keep it running. And him and my mom, they run inside. I wake up, probably 3 or 4 miles down the road, and I'm staring at this guy, and I have no idea who he is. He's got a hat on, skinny, like kind of looks like someone I know, but why would he be driving the vehicle? Just super confused. And finally just piped up and said something, and I spooked him more than I think. And he pulled over and let me out. Luckily, it was at a gas station. I was able to call the police and get an escort back to my parents. And then he kept off. He kept on driving. They ended up catching him a little bit later, but thankfully he didn't hurt me. I was a little 119 pounder at the time, so
oh my goodness,
I don't think I could have done much. And, but we did hit 120 on the way back, and being a 13-year-old boy, I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh geez, man. Oh, that's too funny. All right, we got a Travis Coffee chiming in. He wants you to tell us about the Kostis House of Pain.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so in high school, when we would have a snow day, we couldn't practice. Well, my dad's a contractor, and he built me a wrestling room. And Coach Bentley would say, "We're meeting at the Kostis house. You better be there." And, man, we'd crank that heat up, have a good little practice. It's a small room, but we were there. And,
heck yeah.
Yeah, pull-up bars, and we'd have full-blown practice on a snow day.
I've been in the House of Pain then. I did some Christmas workouts with Coach Fist there. It would get real hot in there.
Yeah.
Real hot in that room. And then we got they just keep on rolling it, Savva.
That's good, man.
We'll get to all of them. Christian Beach, Daniel Rusum, they want to know if you're going to make a return back to the App Open. Daniel says you're not. The first year back says it did you in. So we want to know if you're going to be coming back wrestling in the App Open.
Oh, gosh. I would love to. I'm going to have to start training now. And I don't know if I really want to. Yeah, so I after I graduated, I did the App Open twice. That was a lot of fun. It really was. I think you were there watching. I've been trying to get you to do it.
I might jump in every now and then. I don't
know. If somebody wants to place some sort of bet on me doing it, then I might consider it, some prop bet.
Hey, if you do it, I'll do it.
Oh, that's easy for you. You mountain bike all day.
Dude, mountain biking's not wrestling. I'm soft now, man. That's completely different. There's nothing like wrestling. You know that. Although I think I still got it. I was rolling today with the guys. I still got it a little bit. But okay. Yeah, I got it. Jason Sawyer asked a good question. We'll get to the question or the comment he made. Got a Jay Long chiming in, said, "Why you never let your brother-in-law see you win? So proud of you, though." But we'll keep it going here. We'll keep questions rolling in. Again, everybody watching, go ahead and share the video. We got the most viewers we've ever had on a video. Go ahead and share it and get more people on so we can get more questions asked and have better interaction here. But so Savva, most memorable duel. Your most memorable duel of your career. If you don't say the duel I'm thinking of, we'll talk about it next. But let's hear the most memorable duel you've ever been a part of.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh man. I mean, of course, I got to say the Chattanooga one, but I'm trying to think of one that's not the conference final, duel.
Well, that's the question from Jason. Jason Sawyer is watching you seal the deal in Chattanooga was great. And you did, you did seal the deal. So let's talk about this one because there's some unanswered questions, especially between myself and Coach Bentley. We kind of forgotten how that duel ended up. So let's talk about that duel.
Yeah, that sounds great. That match. I mean, it's the most recent one. I think it's the last duel I ever had. So
yeah.
My memory's working a little better for that one.
Yeah. So let's we'll just get right to it, man. So do you remember the team standing when you went out on the mat? Like, did you remember what you had to do in order to keep the team in it, or?
I want to say we were down by a point or 2 points. I want to say it was like 15-14 or something close like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I was really not trying to focus on what happened. As a wrestler, you don't try to watch Yeah, and I was just kind of had my blinders on, staying in the zone, prepared, ready to take care of myself. I take care of the team kind of mentality. And yeah, so I don't remember a whole lot prior to that, stepping out there and knowing what I needed to do other than win.
Well, talk us through that match then. So you go out, and did that match went to overtime, correct?
It did. It did.
Yeah. So talk us through. All right. So I mean, we'll skip the whole first, second, third period.
Yeah.
Third period ends. Your guys are going to overtime. Talk us through overtime. What happened, start to finish?
We were both, I think, pretty exhausted from the scrambling and the shots and just the defense from the earlier go. So after that third period, I was just kind of staying in the attack mode, just mentally knowing I've got to stay with my shots, keep going. And I still failed to shoot. I mean, I didn't really go after it, but I didn't want to get myself in a vulnerable situation to where he would score on me. And we were doing a lot of hand fighting, back and forth. And yeah, I think we ate up most of the overtime clock, going down to maybe 20, 25 seconds, somewhere in there. And that's where things opened up. And yeah, I think he took a bad shot. I circled to the side a little bit and caught the knee with my hand, drove into him a little bit, and secured the takedown. But for whatever reason, I don't know. I kept driving, put him right on his back, and I didn't stop. And I'm glad I didn't, and got the fall and those extra bonus points. It was a madhouse in there, Dom. I know you were there.
Oh, it was nuts.
There's a picture.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen it. I think it was in Coach Bentley's office for a little while. There's his dad with his hands, or his mom with the hands in the air. Katie with his dad, and his dad's just Katie's dangling, and the whole crowd's, fist pumping. Just, man, there's so many people in that picture that just pure bliss, just happiness, screamed to the top of their lungs.
Yeah.
And, I actually just looked at it not too many days ago, just as soon as I knew I was coming on here, sparked some memories.
The way I remember it is,
what's your side?
I thought you got in a scramble-ish type of situation, and you kind of just ended up like just catching him on his back in a scramble position where he couldn't really fight too much and got the pin. But
yeah, I need to see the video again, because it's just, I don't know where it is or what happened to it. I think it used to be on Flow, or it was uploaded to Flow, and then it was down because John Blakely was videoing, I think, at the time.
So that's who we need to get. We got to call John Blakely.
Yeah, because, I mean, I remember at the end of the video, he was just so excited. He was saying some words I can't say right now. And, man, he was stoked. So we got to get after him and figure out where that video went, and see if I'm telling the truth, if I remember it correctly, how that ending happened. Yeah,
for sure. Again, everybody tuned in, talking with Savva Kostis. Put some questions in the live chat. Share the video. Go ahead, give us a like, a follow on whatever platform you're watching on. But let's just keep moving on here. So we'll go into your workout partners, Savva. Who were the guys you'd battle it out with mostly in the room?
Man, Kyle Benson. I mean, shoot, me and Kyle, we go back to middle school, and we were arch enemies coming up through school. Yeah, and then now we're, same major, go through school, drill partners, good friends. And so I would drill with him a lot. I would drill with Kessler when I could, Chris Calora when he was at App, and Riley Keene and Collins Creech. So, you have that little circle you drill with. And I don't know how I was to drill with, but early on in my career, I was probably a little bit softer than my sophomore, junior season, I finally was like, all right, I'm drilling hard, and yeah, it made the biggest difference. So if you're a wrestler out there, drill hard.
Sav, I think your wife just chimed in and said you can't see the pin in the video because Blakely started jumping up and down.
Okay.
But that means the video's out there, so we still need to get the footage so we can see what really happened there.
Yeah.
But man,
these kids in this 21st century are spoiled now with all the technology, getting all their matches recording, the pictures, and I just feel like I was on the front end of it becoming really big. It's hard to find any of my matches. I'm gonna have to go check with my mom and see if she's got any.
Yeah, they got video footage from every angle you can imagine now these days.
Yeah. It was a different time. I mean, the rules. I can't get over the rule changes. I mean, I think it's for the better. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, the rule changes from when you were competing to now. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so then we'll move. Hey, and you said some names I haven't even thought of in a long time. Riley Keene, Collins Creech.
Yeah.
Dang, you just time flies by so much. You meet so many guys, and you just forget half the people that came through the program.
Yeah. I mean, I think in 4 years, it's got to be, 60, 70 different guys that you know, through the seasons, just through the 4 years.
For sure.
It's a lot. A lot of good guys.
Yeah. I mean, I just had Trotman up here the other day. We talked about that. We're like, man, you remember all these people? I mean, we at least the amount of people we're not even thinking of right now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, we'll kind of get out of the wrestling aspect of things here. Talk about Boone. Granted, you're a local, so this might not apply to you as much as it would from someone coming out of state. But what's your fondest memory, favorite part about Boone? And you're a native, so
yeah.
Give us the.
I think a lot of times you take for granted a place that people go to often vacation. So people that go to the beach, people take it for granted. And I think I take living here in the mountains and being from here for granted. And man, my favorite place is over at Watauga Lake, and you know that. You've been there many times. The whole wrestling team's been there many times.
Yeah.
And you're tearing it up on the wakeboard, and Austin and everybody.
Man. All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about lake days. Let's talk about lake days, Savva. So the Kostises have a spot on the lake. It's just this awesome dock. They've got a big shed, a big open grass field. We actually would do a lot of our team outings at their lake spot. I'm trying to say lake house, but it's not a house. It's like a lake dock.
Yeah.
But Savva, George, and his little brother Dimitri, who also wrestled at App, they've got this awesome wake setter. So in jet skis, and we'd be pulling tubes, grilling out, tackling people off the dock.
That was the best.
Who could be the king of the dock? Eating raw fish when we could catch them with our own hands.
Hartley. Was that Hartley? Man.
Yeah, it was Hartley. Eating raw fish. Now he's a dentist. Probably still picking fish out of his teeth. Oh. Good night, man. Yeah, good times. No, we got to have one of those soon. We do. We do.
I wouldn't recommend right now, but.
No, yeah. Too cold. It's actually snowing right now. But, we need to have like an alumni day at the lake house. What we need to do.
I've been wanting to do something like that for years. And so we're gonna get that together this spring, summer. Maybe spring around SoCon, since it's at App again this year.
Yeah, I think it's at App for the next few years because we put on a phenomenal Southern Conference tournament. It's actually a great event, great venue. So, yeah, man, heck yeah, that's awesome. What was the so you're a local. Did you live at home, or did you ever have an apartment, your own house with some guys, or did you always stay at home?
Yeah, so I stayed at home my freshman year, and I was probably 7 miles from campus. I could get there pretty quick, and I was spoiled being at home. I was able to eat healthier, I feel like, than a lot of the other guys, and that helped out a ton. And my sophomore year, I actually ended up living in App Heights for a semester with Robbie Wannenberg. He was my roommate. I don't know if you remember Robbie or heard
Yeah,
of
we
Robbie.
wrestled together in high school. Was he from West Forsyth?
Yes, I believe
Yeah.
so. I think he was private school and then went to West Forsyth. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were roommates for a semester, and then he decided to move on. And man, you know how it is living with wrestlers. I think I just decided to go on back home and keep doing my thing at home. And I was still a big part of the team and would hang out with all you guys. And,
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't change it, but yeah, there's some good memories at App Heights, though. I mean, I do have to say, being there with the other wrestlers, and then there's a couple rooms down the hall with the other wrestlers. Shoot, I mean, I think Ken Alterac had this huge projector, and they would just play video games 24/7. It felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
Good old App Heights. I lived there for 2 years, and those that don't know, that was a recruiting tool for App Wrestling, because usually you come in as a freshman and you're in a dorm with one other roommate in a super small space. But App Heights was a suite. You had 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a living room, a kitchen, 4 guys staying in one place. So you're coming into an apartment setting style room your freshman year. I mean, you're living good your freshman year. But granted, looking back at my career, and I'm sure other guys would say the same, you would have met so many more people if you were in the dorms and not up in these suites that were basically built for upperclassmen. Plus,
and running those stairs, every day.
That and you had too much freedom as a freshman in the Heights. So it's good they got rid of the Heights. I'll say that. too much freedom up there. Cool.
No,
man.
I'm talking the stairs going from the football field up.
Yeah, I counted them. I think it's like 278 steps, straight up.
Goodness.
Oh, I count. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right, we got some other people chiming in. Chris Calora, we got Sherry chimed in. David Soderholm. I hope I didn't butcher that, David. If I did, I apologize.
He's an App alum.
Yeah.
He's there when my dad was in school.
Nice. Heck yeah. I got some old school alum on here. Love it.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Again, share the video. We got about 10 minutes left. Let's get a couple more viewers on here to wrap it up. We'll start getting into our final questions here, and there are scuffle questions, our quick fire questions. So I'll kind of give you a question, and you just give me a quick answer here. We can also discuss them if you want. But question 1, top, bottom, or neutral? What's your position?
I'm gonna have to say top. I know.
Yeah.
I was good on my feet, but man, I could run that hammerlock series on top and put kids on their back. Yeah, that was my spot.
Yeah, man, you were a pinning machine. You were a pinning machine. Breakfast or dinner?
Dinner.
All right.
Not much of a breakfast eater.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Okay, next one. Howard's Knob twice, back to back, or a whole day of moving mats for camp?
If it's the light mats that you have today, moving mats.
No, old school. We're going old school.
Old school.
Having to carry and lug around the 3 sections per mat. Oh my goodness.
I'm running the knob. Man, that big section mat, do you remember the time we tried to take it upstairs, but we were walking on the old wooden bleachers? Like everybody had it underneath their shoulder, and we were walking up the bleachers. And I swear I thought one of the bleachers were either going to collapse or, man, there were some scary moments moving those big mats, heavy mats.
I mean, the guys now, they have look, you come in, moving mats for a day. That's a long day. I don't care what kind of mats you're moving. But they have no idea that the whole main level, actually every mat used to be 3 sections of mat, heavy as heck. You had to lug them into the van, take them from whatever school you got it from, unload them in an awkward way.
Yep. Yeah. And don't forget trying to get it through those double doors with the center post, and you're having to dive underneath and put your back under it.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And you got to hope you got a good, strong partner on the other side.
Who are you going to call out right now, Savva? Who was the laziest person you know to move mats?
Oh.
Come on, man. Call somebody out. They ain't watching.
I'm going to have to plead the fifth because, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could get beat up by this guy now.
If I think I know who it is, he definitely isn't watching.
Oh, well, he's a pretty tough fighter. Let's say that nowadays. And I'm not talking about Austin. I know he's got his MMA fighting. I'm going lightweight.
Well, you done said who it was right there. Oh,
no. I'm just giving him a hard time. Yeah. I wouldn't say anybody was real lazy at moving mats. We all jumped in there and got it done.
Shoot, I'll say there's a lot of people lazy. They stand around, wait for nothing.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Not do a darn thing.
Who are you calling out?
Caleb Forrest.
Okay. You better not drive through his Winston-Salem anytime soon.
He might pull me over, but that's okay. I'm going to tell him. I'll tell him to his face. He was a little lazy. Heck, we all got lazy at times, though. We all got lazy at times.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Hank Harden just chimed in. He said UTC win for the SoCon Dual Championship was great.
Awesome.
Glad to see Hank's chimed in right now.
Yeah, he's in that picture like this.
Yeah.
Just frozen like a statue.
Yeah, that picture's still in Coach Bentley's office to this day. I see it every time I go up there.
Awesome. Great memories.
Yeah. All right, Cookout or Bojangles?
Oh, Bojangles.
Yeah, same. Had that the other week. Okay, 6 a.m. preseason workouts or 6 a.m. postseason workouts?
Well, see, postseason wasn't every day.
It was still Monday, Friday. Yeah. So when I say postseason, I mean getting ready for conference.
The HE double hockey stick season. Yeah, that week.
Combo work.
I'm going to say preseason for sure.
Yeah, those combo workouts, those burn. Those hurt.
Those do hurt, but I did run the fastest mile, I think, doing those. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It was fun. But, yeah, those hurt.
So
I had to do it in high school, too.
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that was no fun.
So Wednesday afternoon conditioning, which for those who don't know, Wednesday afternoon conditioning is kind of like that's our preseason workout for the day. We meet, we do a big run, we do hill sprints with some circuit training. So it's just a conditioning workout, no wrestling at all, maybe some hand fighting. Or Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning conditioning. Which one would you rather do? Wednesday afternoon or a Monday, Friday morning conditioning?
It would be Wednesday, one and done.
Yeah. Monday, Fridays on the track, those 400, 800s. Oh, my goodness. Terrible.
The 800s would get me.
And then hand fight in between each one to recover. Oh.
Yeah, but don't forget the stadiums in between, too. Sometimes we'd run a hippo highway.
Yeah.
Or
I love the hippos. I love those things.
How bad would your hands hurt when we had those 45-pound plates and we'd have to go all the way around the track? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, you probably had 25-pound weights.
Dude, no, I had 45. Savva, I had 45 pounds, and I smoked you by a lap. You called me son of a gun.
This is fun. This is fun.
Yeah, it is. Oh, Caleb's watching. He chimed in.
Oh, what's up, Caleb?
Caleb. I was joking, man. I was joking. There was only one time I saw you standing around not doing anything, and that's why I called you out. But, hey, much love, man. We need to – I'm going to be hitting you up, jump on this podcast next, Caleb, now that you're chiming in.
Well, going back to the guys, I mean, any lightweight, I would say, was just, we're going to skip that. I know you're included in that, but y'all are pretty weak.
Lightweight for what?
moving mats.
Dude, totally disagree. Me, Weston, Haney, Austin, we would crush it.
You guys are hard workers.
Yeah, we would crush it, man. We would crush it. All right, here. So would you rather do a grind match or 10 minutes of airdyne sprints? 30 seconds on. 30
Grind
seconds.
match, easy. Easily favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
because for me, active motion in a grind match and just getting after it, it's much easier for me to wrestle than it is to run.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I got to change that up. Airdyne sprints, that's probably the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, you remember those workouts Jimmy used to have us do if you were injured? I was never injured when Jimmy was there. He made that thing out of the tire with the sandbag.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, Jimmy. They're tuned. I think the Stricklands are tuned in. I think they're tuned in.
Awesome.
I remember those.
Yeah,
I don't know if
everything.
I think I was rehabbed up after an injury I had from Jimmy before those disgusting rubber bags that leaked sand or whatever he put in them everywhere.
Yeah.
Gone.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So favorite memory of app wrestling camp.
This is strange. Reffing the matches. I really enjoyed reffing the matches and some of the big time matches, watching some of those kids. And I enjoyed the reffing.
I did as well. That was fun. Although you had some coaches that would get on you if they did not like your call.
Well,
they
that's true.
Would get on your case.
Yeah. Well, aside from the meal tickets and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Cool. We got Kelly Hardy tuned in. Jacob Benson.
That's Kyle's brother.
Oh, nice. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. A couple more tuning in here. Again, we're wrapping up here, guys. We got our last question we're asking. Appreciate everybody tuning in, but we'll give Savva the last words here. Well, not the last words, but the closing question here. What's one thing you hope people will remember you for while wrestling at App?
Man, for me, I just want to be remembered as a guy that was exciting to watch. I always went out there trying to score the next point and kind of run the score up and leave it out of the ref's hands. And exciting as far as put the kid on their back, get that fall, crowd goes crazy. I mean, varsity gym, shoot, you can't beat that. And I mean, you even know half my family took up the visitor side fans, their stands. It was full of my family.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Yeah,
well, now you were exciting is an understatement, man. You were definitely exciting, and now you're sitting on the visiting side, as you would call it now, heckling the refs. And I've actually seen you get a couple calls thrown our way because you're on top of the refs. So man, we appreciate it.
Gotta help out.
Yep.
Because I can say stuff to that referee you guys couldn't.
Yeah, and you actually, I'm not kidding. I've seen you get some calls thrown our way because you're in his ear.
Yeah.
But again, thank you everybody who's tuned in. We really appreciate it. Again, this is The Grind. We want to thank all our Patreon members, Danny and Sharon, Savva, who we're speaking with right now, John, Billy, and our first Patreon, Jesse. Your support's allowing us to extend what we're doing here and reach as many people as possible promoting App State Wrestling. If you're interested in joining, please consider being a Patreon. We'll go ahead and attach the link to do so here in the live chat. If you're an App Wrestling alum, it's a no-brainer to do it. All this money goes back to supporting the wrestling program. So please consider doing it. And again, share this content, like us, follow us on whatever platforms you're on. We really appreciate it. We're actually in a time right now with COVID and everything going on, and we can't have fans In the stands this year, we're actually going to be live streaming some of our wrestling events. And the first one coming up is December 18th. That's the inter-squad matches, where it's pretty much a wrestle-off amongst the App Wrestling team to find the top 2 guys in each weight class for the black and gold match. So we will be live streaming those matches, and myself and Savva, who we have on tonight, we will be the commentators for those matches. So keep a lookout for that. More info to come. But again, like us, share us, become a Patreon, help us support App Wrestling. And again, Savva, thank you for coming on tonight. We appreciate it. And that's a wrap for this episode. So everybody have a great rest of your Monday and have a great week.
Thank you.
This episode of The Grind is proudly sponsored by Mountaineer Works. Mountaineer Works, owned and operated by Appalachian State alum and athletics photographer Chad W. Mitchell. Chad designs and builds officially licensed, unique cornhole board sets, and today I give my all plaques that will surely rock your tailgate, party, backyard barbecue, office, or creative space. They're sculptured smooth in the wood lab, fire coated at over 3,000 degrees, and paint dyed in the Cornhole Conservatory to complement their one-of-a-kind grain, then App State branded. The best part is you choose from a set of pre-approved color layouts and App State logos to personally design your cornhole boards, and today I give my all plaque. Mix it up or match it up, you can't go wrong. Show your Mountaineer pride as these make solid gifts for deserving folks. Find Mountaineer Works on Facebook and Instagram to place your order or ask a question.
This has been a production by Yosef Media.